At 2:17 in the morning, a guest called the front desk and asked me to tell the person in room 214 to turn their TV down. I apologized and put him on hold. Then I checked the motel system. Room 214 wasn't occupied. It wasn't even available to rent. The room had been marked out of service for almost 3 weeks. I remember staring at the screen for a second.
Motel, how can
Then
I
I
help?
opened the hallway camera.
Listen closely,
The hallway was
someone's
empty.
outside.
No guests,
What?
no
Who's
staff,
this?
nothing moving.
They're coming for you.
But there was a blue
This isn't
glow
funny.
coming from under the door of room 214, flickering, like a television was on inside. I zoomed in. The light disappeared. A few seconds later, it came back. The guest picked up again and said the TV had gotten louder. That's when I grabbed the master key, because room 214 wasn't supposed to have anyone in it, and it definitely wasn't supposed to have a television running. The room had been empty for 3 weeks. My name is Mark Reynolds. At the time, I was 46 and working nights at a roadside motel outside Columbus, Ohio. I had been there long enough to know the building better than most of the managers. My shift ran from 11 p.m. until 7 a.m. Most nights were boring. Check-ins, coffee, paperwork. The occasional complaint about loud neighbors. That Thursday night was unusually quiet. Rain tapped against the windows. The interstate traffic had thinned out. Only 6 rooms were occupied. All of them were on the west side of the property. Room 214 wasn't one of them. 3 weeks earlier, a ceiling leak had damaged part of the drywall. Management locked the room out of the reservation system until repairs could be completed. No guests, no key cards, no reason for anyone to be inside. I was the only employee on duty. The maintenance crew had gone home hours earlier. The cleaning staff left before midnight. The only thing still running besides me was the old keycard printer behind the desk. Every now and then it would process delayed requests from the management office server. That detail didn't seem important at the time. After the second complaint about the television, I took the master key and headed upstairs. The rain echoed softly through the open-air walkway. Room 214 sat near the far end of the second floor. As I approached, I could hear the television, low volume, just enough to make out voices. Then when I got within 10 feet of the door, it stopped instantly. The hallway went silent. I stood there listening, nothing. No footsteps, no movement. I unlocked the door and stepped inside. The room was empty. No luggage, no clothes, no food containers. Nothing but a few details bothered me. The television screen was black, but the back of the TV was still warm, not hot, just warm enough to tell me it had been running recently. Then I noticed an ice bucket on the table. Water sat in the bottom. A few pieces of melting ice floated inside. Housekeeping didn't leave rooms like that still. I found excuses. Maybe maintenance had been working there earlier. Maybe housekeeping used the room during a break. Maybe someone forgot to update a work order. Nothing dangerous. Nothing worth calling the police over. I locked the room and went back downstairs, but I couldn't stop thinking about the TV glow under the door. I returned to the front desk and started the nightly reports. About 20 minutes later, the keycard printer suddenly started running. The sound made me look up. No guests were standing in the lobby. Nobody had walked through the front doors. The printer fed out a single keycard sleeve. I walked over and picked it up. At first, I assumed it was a delayed request from management. Then I looked at the label room 214, guest name, Mark Reynolds. My name, I hadn't printed it. I was still holding the sleeve when my phone vibrated. A motion alert from the hallway camera, room 214. I opened the feed. The blue glow was back, brighter this time, steady, like someone was sitting inside watching television. The motel phone rang. I answered immediately. No one spoke. I listened. At first I heard nothing, then I heard it, the faint sound of a television. Low volume somewhere. On the other end of the line, I hung up. A moment later, the elevator motor groaned. Slowly climbing to the second floor, I checked the lobby camera. Nobody had entered the building. Nobody crossed the parking lot. Nobody called the elevator. Another motion alert appeared. Room 214. I switched back to the hallway camera. The door was open a few inches. Blue light spilled into the hallway. I zoomed in. Inside the room, I could see part of a television screen, and what I saw on that screen made my stomach drop. It was showing a live camera feed from the front desk. My front desk, my chair, my coffee cup, my paperwork. Someone inside room 214 was watching me in real time. Then I heard something behind me. A single knock, soft, coming from the office door behind the front desk. I froze. Nobody should have been back there. The knock came again, slow. deliberate. Then the door handle moved once, not hard, just enough to prove someone was touching it. That's when I realized something. Whoever was in room 214 wasn't hiding from me. They were tracking me. I locked the lobby entrance, called 911, then retreated into the office and locked that door too. I kept watching the monitor. The door to room 214 remained partially open. The blue light never moved. And for the next several minutes, I couldn't stop wondering whether the person watching me already knew exactly where I was hiding. The police arrived less than 10 minutes later. 2 officers entered through the locked front doors. I showed them the hallway feed. By then, the door to room 214 was closed again. The blue glow was gone. We went upstairs together. The officers searched the room, then searched it again. Nothing. No luggage. No personal items. No signs anyone had been staying there. The television was off. The ice bucket was gone. They checked the maintenance room's laundry, storage, the parking lot. Nothing. The person was gone. What bothered me most came later. The motel system showed that a key card had been issued for room 214 at 2:21 a.m. Guest name, Mark Reynolds. My name. No one could explain how it happened. The hallway camera wasn't much help. A laundry cart had blocked part of the camera's view for 4 minutes around the same time. Long enough for someone to move through the hallway unseen. A week later, management reviewed the electrical logs. They discovered that room 214's television had powered on for roughly 30 to 40 minutes every night for the previous 11 nights. The power wasn't coming from normal guest use. Someone had repeatedly activated a maintenance override from inside the building, but nobody could determine who. No work orders existed. No authorized entries were recorded. Room 214 was never rented again. The repairs were eventually finished. The room stayed empty anyway. I left that job a few months later, but I still think about that night, especially when I remember the hallway camera, the blue glow under the door. The room that wasn't supposed to have anyone inside, because according to the motel records, room 214 was vacant, but somebody always seemed to know exactly when I was alone.